All right, and here we are. This is the Viofo A229 Pro. It's a 4K dash cam. So I'm going to go through the different components of each piece of these things. I'm going to go through the installation process that I do in the Honda Pilot, and yeah, we'll get everything up and running and using the app. I'm going to do a second video, obviously, to review it. I have had this loosely connected to the Jackery just to get everything set and ready to go and make sure I understood how it worked before we started, but we'll quickly go over the components in here. So the unit itself obviously has a screen on it. You have the menu button, record, microphone, and Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi is going to be used to connect the app to the phone, which one of the reasons why I ended up accepting this product to review is it has 3 different cameras, right? So you have the front camera, which is actually on the unit itself, and you can pivot it however you want. You have the interior camera here and then the rear camera. When you connect the app via Wi-Fi to your phone, you can watch a live stream without needing internet. So when I'm camping, if I hear something out by the vehicle, I can turn on the camera and actually look and see what's going on around the tent, which I think is going to be really useful the deeper that I get out there. And so again, we'll go through the functionality when we have it up and running. This is the interior camera. These all have 3M adhesive tape, and they can all pivot and slide. They all have microphones on them if need be. And then moving down here, so I do also have the H4 hardwire kit. So instead of using this right here, which is a USB-C to USB-A, which you can see here is normally how the power is ran, we're gonna be using this guy. And this is gonna be the USB-C that connects into the unit itself, which connects at the top right here. And then once that's in, this is going to basically run along the windshield down the A-pillar and then into the fuse box. And we have constant hot, which is to the battery. We have accessory, so when we turn on the car, it changes the modes. And then we have ground. The purpose of these is you can have 3 different modes while the vehicle is off and the camera will be recording. We can go through the modes later and we'll show you what each one of them does. The nice thing about the hardwire kit is there's 4 different voltage levels that actually cut power to the unit if the voltage gets too low. So what that means is that it'll never drain the battery too far so that the car won't start. And obviously really helpful here, red is power, black is ground, yellow is accessory. So moving on, this left side here is for the rear. So this is gonna be a USB-C, and that is this really long cable here. So we have USB-C here and USB-C on this side. It's a really long cable to run to the back of the vehicle, which is nice. The interior one is much shorter and actually connects to this 3.5 millimeter on the side of the unit over here. This is also where the micro SD card slot goes for the card. You have this USB-C to USB-A cable, but this is only for transferring data if you need to. And then you have a polarized lens to go on here if you end up wanting to use a polarized lens on this for some reason. Again, 3M adhesive tape. And this is interesting. So this is a wireless Bluetooth remote control. And basically what this does is when you press it, it's going to allow the camera to record and have a locked video. So you can have this somewhere close to where you're driving. And if you see something going on that you need to make sure that you're going to record and not have the camera rewrite over as it constantly cycles through recording, you press that button and whatever's recording at that time will record and lock and prevent anything from being recorded over it, which is really nice. If you do get the SD card from Viofo, they do give you a standard size SD adapter, which is always helpful. This comes with the wireless Bluetooth control button there. And yeah, that's for the most part pretty much it. I did pick up these fuse taps off of Amazon. So again, these will go right into the fuse box. That way we don't have to cut or splice any wires, and we can put our probably 10 amp fuse right inside here, and then this will go into the fuse box, and I'll show you how to do that later. So we have one for constant power and we have one for accessory power. But yeah, other than that, we will get started and start ripping the Pilot apart. I took a look around and I was trying to figure out where I wanted this thing, because obviously there's going to be a screen on it. There's going to be a cord at the top, cord on the sides, but I really think right there is the spot I want it, because I want to be able to access it. I want to be able to see it. I need to be able to press the buttons. I was thinking about putting it over here, but then it's behind, the screen is then behind the rear view mirror, and obviously anywhere here that's even more in the way of the sunshade. So I figured I would do here, and we're gonna run the wiring all the way down behind here. Now you could simply run the wiring through this channel. Obviously I took off the weather stripping, which just pulls off, and then we can run it down through here. But I wanted to take this off just so that I knew how to do it, and I figured out that basically if you put a small flathead, this thing opens up. Then with an 8mm, you can just go in here and unscrew that bad boy. That, and then out it comes. And if you want to go down a rabbit hole, obviously this just pulls off. For that we have a screw here, which will drop this down and give us access to the 10mm bolt right there, which will allow this panel to come completely off. Okay, so this looks like a mess, but it's not too bad. So I'm obviously gonna have the camera come out back here somewhere, so we need to run it through this dust shield between the two. This literally just pulls off of both sides. No big deal there, same thing here. This literally just has these plastic clips you pull straight down. You may pop these out, just put them back in. This same thing, we just have clips here. Obviously you have the LED light right there, but this sits here, you just pull it straight down. So now we're gonna try and pull the cable through here so that we can connect the camera here. Okay, so we are now ran. So we'll put this back together here in a second. I do want to show you the camera itself. It's nice because obviously the USB-C is right there and this thing can rotate. Also, you're provided with these little sheets so that you don't get any residue on your windshield. So basically, we're gonna clean this area really well. And then we're going to put this on here, and then we will stick the camera on top of that, obviously with the USB-C facing this way. The USB-C is essentially running behind here, down in here, over here, and then we have it running just inside the lip all the way around to the front of the car. I was originally going to do down through the floorboard, but I don't know if it's long enough. So we have basically the extra cord just sitting here. We have the camera mounted there. We have the power there, and then the rear camera I have there. So we'll pop that on now that our screw's back in. Okay, so we're pretty much back together. So now we just have to wire it up. So I grounded this with the other grounds up there. And then we have these fuse tabs. So the first one, even though these are both red, these are just the end pieces. So the first one is our accessory. We have this running up to the third head down, which is 1, 2, 3. So I did this to the rear wiper, which only works with the power on. And then the second one we have over here, it's ran, actually there's a 20 amp and then a 10 right below it, which is constant power. Driver lumbar, which is right here, and this is constant power. So hypothetically, when we turn on the vehicle, this should turn on. You can see we got power, and on it comes. Okay, so we are in. Vehicle is currently on right now, an accessory, and if we press the button, this will turn on, shows the cameras are properly functioning. You can rotate that down so that it's showing the front. And then we have the rear plugged into the side. There is a cabin camera that I'm not running currently, but it literally plugs into the 3.5mm jack right there. We'll put our SD card in, and then we'll start recording. Wiring, the hardwire kit, as we just showed, is connected in there. We have accessory and power. Ground is back behind this panel that we took out, which again is just a clip, pull out. Okay, we are wired. You can see the backup camera right there, the rear view camera. We've got this guy up here. Everything's working, no issues. So let's go for a drive, make sure everything works. And then in a future video, I'll go over a review of it. Install was super straightforward though. You have power, accessory, ground, you have to run the wiring where you want it, and then you have to set up the camera where you want it. So we'll see if this ends up working for me. It may be shifted too far to the driver's side and may need to be in the middle, so I may have to tinker with that. But at least for now, we're all operational. Okay, so we already had our first update, I guess. Putting the camera in right next to the A-pillar in the front, it doesn't have a wide enough angle to get to the other side of the car, which was my mistake. So I ended up moving this right next to, oh, where are we at? Right here. So we ended up moving this right next to the rearview mirror and everything else, which obviously, you know, this goes all the way up. So this isn't even hitting and it's in the right spot. So we're cool there. Also, now we have the rear view camera on. And we'll shut this and you can see this now is in the center of the back window, which is much better. So